Welcome back, everybody. We're diving into something pretty unique today. We're going to be taking a look at this guy named Luke and how he's using AI, like a whole network of custom AI friends, as he calls them, to like map out his vision for the future.
So it's not just, like a typical vision board.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a whole blueprint.
A blueprint for a new way of living, really.
Right. And the thing that really got me is how he's using the AI. It's not just like crunching data or making predictions. It's more than that.
It's like he's using it to brainstorm.
Yeah, to strategize. It's like he's got this digital think tank helping him figure out the future.
Yeah, and even philosophize, like really think about these big questions.
And the AI isn't just like some, nameless bots either.
Yeah, each AI has a very specific personality and expertise, right?
He's given them names and everything, like Aura Super Assistant, Blender Buddy, and Cosmic Nexus Advisor. It's kind of wild.
It makes you wonder, like, how do they interact? How does that all work?
Yeah, how do these digital personalities actually play into his whole vision?
Right, because at the core of it all, of this whole thing, is this idea of joyful, responsible abundance. It's what he calls JJR Earth.
Okay, so joyful, responsible abundance sounds great, but like, what does that even mean?
Right, how do you translate that into, like, an actual vision for the future?
How do you put that into practice?
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about here?
Well, from what we can tell from looking at his stuff, it's about finding a balance, like between technology and human values.
Okay.
And environmental sustainability.
So it's not like rejecting technology or going back to, some sort of like, idealized past.
Right. It's about harnessing the power of technology, but doing it in a way that benefits everybody and the planet too.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not just about like flying cars and robots, but about using those things in a way that actually makes a positive impact.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the big things in this whole vision is something he calls the aura of intelligence. Now, this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay. Aura of intelligence. Is this like some like psychic force field or something?
Not quite, but it's a very ambitious concept. He describes it as like this mixed reality interface.
Okay.
It's like a digital bridge, I guess, to your infinite self, as he puts it.
I'm not sure I follow. What do you mean?
So imagine like a device, maybe something you wear, that combines augmented reality with super advanced AI. And it personalizes like information and experiences for you. It's almost like a digital extension of your consciousness in a way.
Whoa. Okay. So hold on. So it's not just like feeding you information. It's actually interacting with your thoughts and your emotions.
Yeah, it's trying to. It's a very ambitious concept.
It's like a super personalized AI therapist, life coach, and tutor all in one.
That's one way to think about it. And the applications for this are huge. I mean, in the material we've seen, he talks about using it for everything. I mean, from dementia care to like personalized health and fitness stuff to community building, education. It seems like this aura is a central tool in his vision for JJR Earth,
Right.
for personal growth, but also for connection with others.
Okay, that's ambitious for sure. But like, how do you even go from a personal tool to a global movement?
Right. How do you scale that up? Well, he's actually got this whole plan for this massive event called Live Aid 2025.
Live Aid 2025.
Yeah. So picture this. 50,000 concerts.
Wow.
Happening at the same time all over the world, all synchronized to promote, unity and collective action.
Wow. Okay. That's thinking big.
Yeah.
But how does this Live Aid tie into the whole JJRA thing? Is it just about raising awareness or is there more to it?
I think it's both.
Okay.
On one hand, it is about bringing people together, through music and shared values, like creating the sense of global unity.
Yeah.
But it's also about kind of showing what's possible, like using technology to really facilitate connection and collaboration and even collective decision-making.
So it's like a global demonstration of what could be when technology and human values actually align.
Exactly. It's like a proof of concept, a way to inspire people to imagine and actually co-create this future of, joyful, responsible abundance.
I see. Okay, and to manage this whole thing, this whole complex vision, Luke relies a lot on these specialized AI collaborators.
Yeah, he does.
Each one seems to have a specific role to play, and bringing different parts of JIR to life.
Yeah, it's like his own personal Justice League of AI.
Okay, so let's talk about these AI collaborators. You've got like Canva Social Guru, for example. I'm guessing that one handles like the whole social media aspect.
Yeah, I think so. It's about, crafting a compelling narrative for JIR Earth and using social media to really connect with people, share information, and get some momentum going for the whole movement.
Okay, that makes sense. Then you've got Phineas, the fishing mate. What does a fishing buddy have to do with a global vision for the future?
Yeah, that one's a bit more specific. So Phineas is less about, global strategy
Hmm.
and more about showing how the principles of JJR Earth can work on a smaller scale, like locally.
Okay.
So it's focused on building the sustainable fishing community on North Stradbroke Island, actually, where Luke is based. It's like a microcosm of the whole vision, right?
Okay, so it's like showing how technology can help us live more sustainably and build community and create this more fulfilling way of life, but on like a smaller local scale.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. And you've got others too, right?
Yeah, there's a bunch more.
Okay, give us a few more examples.
You got Bullsy Oracle, which focuses on revitalizing a local bowls club using technology. And then there's Cosmic VR and Space Weather News Guide, which, from the name,
Yeah.
uses virtual reality to make all this complex data about space weather, like understandable and interesting for people.
So it's about taking these big ideas, these kind of abstract concepts, and making them relatable and relevant to people's everyday lives.
Right, exactly.
Whether it's through, these community projects or personalized tech or even, exploring space, it's bringing it all down to earth.
It is, but it's not all fun and games, though.
Right.
There's definitely a focus on tackling some serious problems, too, like some of the world's biggest problems.
Okay, so what are we talking about here? What kind of problems?
Well, one of the projects he's working on is something called the In-Home AI Auto Farm.
Okay, in-home AI auto farm. Break that down for me.
All right, so imagine this. It's a system that combines hydroponics, AI, and robotics to create this, self-sufficient food ecosystem inside people's homes.
So like tiny robots farming in your kitchen.
Not exactly tiny robots, but yeah. So you're growing your own fresh produce
Mm-hmm.
all year round in a system that, learns and adapts based on your needs.
Wow. Okay, so it's like a hyper-personalized smart garden. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And what about space? Does Luke have any cosmic plans in his grand narrative?
Oh, he does.
Okay.
He's working on something called the Space Development Nexus, or SDNX for short.
Okay, what is that?
And it's not about launching rockets or colonizing Mars or anything like that.
Okay.
It's more about creating interactive, localized space education centers
Okay.
to get people inspired, especially the next generations about space exploration and science.
Oh, I see. So bringing the wonders of space down to Earth, literally.
Yeah, exactly. Making it accessible and engaging for everyone.
All right, so he's got this really inspiring vision, these innovative projects, but even with all of that, there are going to be challenges, right?
Yeah, definitely. Building a future like this, one that's so reliant on technology and global cooperation, there's bound to be obstacles.
So what are some of the big roadblocks? What do they need to overcome?
Well, I think one of the biggest ones is going to be societal resistance. Right. People are wary of new technology.
Especially when it comes to something as personal as that aura of intelligence.
Yeah, exactly. You start talking about something that can potentially, read your thoughts, influence your emotions. People are going to be cautious.
Yeah, understandable. And then there's the whole global aspect, right?
Yeah.
Getting everyone on the same page globally on something as complex as this.
It's a huge challenge.
Huge challenge.
Just imagine trying to achieve global consensus on things like data privacy or AI ethics,
Yeah, it's not easy.
That's a monumental
It's
task.
going to require a ton of cooperation and transparency.
Absolutely. And a framework that respects different cultures and values.
Right. Okay. So how is Luke planning to deal with all of this? He's not just charging ahead blindly.
No, from what we can see, he's got a pretty flexible approach, which I think is smart.
Okay.
He seems to understand that the future is always changing, so he's looking at things like decentralized governance models, and he's thinking about using blockchain technology, for transparency and to give communities a voice in how this all unfolds.
So it's about distributing power.
Exactly. Not concentrating it in the hands of just a few people. And that brings us to, the whole GAJRA token and the whole decentralized autonomous organization, or DAO.
Yeah, okay. So this is where it gets a bit more technical, but it's important. So stick with us, listeners.
It is. The GAJRA token is a cryptocurrency.
Okay.
And it's crucial to building this DAO, which is basically a distributed organization
Okay.
that's governed by the community, and it oversees all the different initiatives within GJRA Earth.
Okay, so I think I'm starting to see how this all fits together.
Yeah, I think so. It's like creating a digital ecosystem where people can actually participate, contribute, and shape the future.
That's cool, but the big question is this whole thing just a pipe dream, or does it have a real shot? Is this all just a fantasy, or can Luke actually pull this off?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question. We've seen the ambition, the innovation, the challenges, but can he make it all happen? We'll dig into that a little more after the break.
So, if we really want to understand the chances of Luke's vision becoming a reality, we need to look at a few key factors.
All right, let's break it down. What are the make or break elements here?
Okay, so first, the sheer scale of what he's attempting is just massive.
Okay.
It's not just like a single solution. It's like a complete reimagining of how we live,
Yeah.
how we use tech, how we interact with each other, even how we relate to the planet.
So not just a few tweaks, but a total paradigm shift.
Exactly. And that level of ambition, it's inspiring, but it also creates a ton of obstacles.
Right.
I mean, you need buy-in from so many different levels: individuals, governments, global organizations.
So many moving parts and so many ways it could go wrong.
Exactly. Then you've got the technology itself. Some of it, like the AI and blockchain stuff, that's already here.
But other elements, like that aura of intelligence, that's still pretty experimental or even just a concept.
Yeah, the aura. It's a cool idea, but can it really live up to the hype?
That's the big question mark. I mean, the aura is really at the heart of his vision, but it relies on some huge breakthroughs in tech. We're talking mixed reality, brain-computer interfaces, AI personalization that can, understand you on a deep level.
Okay, so now we're getting into some ethically tricky territory.
Right. Even if the intentions are good, even if this is all about helping people, some people might be pretty uncomfortable with that level of intrusion.
Yeah, I mean, even if the technology can do all that, the question is, should it?
Right.
And how do you guarantee that kind of power isn't misused or abused?
That's the challenge with any powerful technology. There's always the risk of someone using it for the wrong reasons.
Right.
But what I find interesting is that Luke seems to be trying to address this through how he sets up the DAO.
Okay, remind me how this DAO and the GAJRA token fit into all of this.
So remember, it's all about decentralization.
Okay.
Instead of having one central authority, like a company or a government, making all the decisions, the DAO is set up to give every token holder a say.
So it's kind of like a digital democracy?
Yeah, you could think of it that way. Everyone who holds tokens gets to vote on proposals, they can fund projects, and they can hold the leadership accountable.
Interesting. It's like a giant online co-op where everyone has a stake in the outcome.
That's the general idea. Of course, it's still very much in development, but it does have the potential to really change how we make decisions and govern ourselves.
It's a cool idea, but it sounds super complicated. How do they plan on getting people involved in this DAO thing?
Well, that's where the whole gamification element comes in.
Okay.
Remember that Live Aid 2025 event we talked about?
It's a giant global concert thing?
Yeah, it's not just about the music and shared values.
Right.
It's also meant to be like an introduction to the whole GAJR Earth ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to use that event to introduce people to the DAO,
Yeah.
to show them how this whole decentralized governance thing works, but in a fun, engaging way.
So using entertainment and technology to get people involved in shaping the future.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
But can they really pull that off? Can they actually reach a global audience with something this complex?
That's a huge challenge, for sure. I mean, you need really effective communication and outreach, and you need a platform that everyone can use easily no matter where they are in the world.
Okay, so a lot to figure out. Realistically, what do you think? What are the chances of all this actually happening?
It's tough to say.
Yeah.
If I had to put a number on it, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being no way and 10 being definitely going to happen, I'd probably give it like a 6 or a 7.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of potential there, but there are just so many unknowns.
Yep.
A lot depends on things that are totally outside of Luke's control, like what happens in the world, the economy, how fast technology develops.
So a risky venture, but potentially a high reward one if it works out. What are the benefits? Like, what could happen if this actually succeeds?
The implications are pretty huge. If JJ Earth achieves even a fraction of its goals, it could change how we deal with some of the biggest problems facing humanity. Climate change, inequality, the ethical development of AI. I mean, it's a long shot, but it could be a game changer.
Okay, but even if it doesn't take over the world, could there still be some value in what he's doing?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Even if JR Earth doesn't become this global phenomenon, the individual projects he's working on, the technologies he's developing, those could still have a big impact.
Give me an example.
Take that in-home AI auto farm, for instance.
Right.
That could revolutionize how we grow food in cities, improve food security, even if the rest of the vision doesn't quite pan out.
Okay. So some real potential for positive change, even if the whole grand plan doesn't come together.
But there's one thing we haven't really touched on yet.
Hmm.
This whole idea of Luke using his AI friends to develop his vision.
It's definitely not the usual way to do things.
It's unique, to say the least. Let's dive into that a bit more.
All right, let's talk about this whole AI friend thing.
Yeah, it's definitely not your typical brainstorming session.
It's pretty wild, right? Like instead of working with, a team of human experts, he's got this network of AIs helping him out.
Yeah, it's like he's crowdsourced his thinking to a bunch of digital brains.
And they're not just any AIs, right?
Yeah.
Each one has this distinct personality that he's programmed.
Yeah, it's like he's created these digital extensions of his own thinking. Like they reflect his interests, his values, the way he sees the world.
So it's almost like he's using AI to explore different aspects of himself, different possibilities.
It's like a supercharged form of introspection, maybe. And it's not completely unheard of, actually.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, more and more people are using AI as creative partners.
Totally.
Like sounding boards, even therapists in a way.
Well, okay. I guess that makes sense.
But taking it to this level with a whole team of distinct AI personalities, that's pretty unique.
It really is.
Yeah.
But how does he even manage all these different AI voices? Doesn't it ever feel like too much?
I'm sure it could be overwhelming at times, but from what we can tell, Luke's pretty mindful of that. Like, he set up some boundaries,
Okay.
to make sure he stays in control and doesn't get lost in the AI noise.
So it's a deliberate experiment, a conscious choice to see how far you can push this human-AI collaboration.
It is, and it's worth asking, what are the potential benefits? Like, maybe by tapping into these diverse AI perspectives, he's able to see things, explore ideas he wouldn't have on his own.
It's like having access to all these different experts all the time.
Exactly. And as AI gets more advanced, who knows, maybe this kind of collaboration will become the norm.
Everyone with their own personalized AI think tank.
It's possible. Boosting creativity, helping us learn new things, solving problems in ways we haven't even thought of yet.
It's both exciting and a little bit scary, honestly. But for now, let's focus on what we can learn from Luke and his unusual approach.
Yeah.
What are the big takeaways here?
Well, I think the main thing is that AI is becoming much more than just a tool for automation or data crunching.
Yeah.
It's becoming a partner. A
Yeah.
partner in creativity, innovation, and even in self-discovery.
It's about using AI to amplify our own abilities,
Yeah.
to push our limits and explore new ways of thinking.
Exactly. And, Luke's way might seem extreme, but it shows us that we need to be adaptable. We need to experiment, especially in a world that's changing so fast.
Right. It's about being open to the unknown, testing the boundaries, and figuring out how to use technology to make things better.
And I think the most important thing of all is remembering that we, humans, are still in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Technology is a tool, a powerful tool, but a tool nonetheless. And it's up to us to use it wisely and responsibly.
So what about you, listener? Could you imagine working with AI like Luke? Would you want an aura of intelligence? What role do you see yourself playing in this rapidly changing future? We're all shaping this future together, and it's full of possibilities. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.